Borderline personality disorder can be defined as a disorder in relating. Mostly the person with borderline personality disorder will be over-possessive of a person that they're in a relationship with. They will also be very apprehensive of either imagined or real rejection. Despite that, they will have a lot of fluctuations of moods. Sometimes they will be very happy, and another time they will be very sad. They will also sometimes be very angry. So they will be more angry compared to what is making or what is actually activating this anger. People with borderline personality disorder also will have a lot of self-hate, self-rejection. They are also characterized by tendency to harm themselves, especially when they sense that they are going to be rejected. And this rejection, remember we said, could be imagined or could be real. The reason that they harm themselves or have the tendency to harm themselves is to gain attention. And therefore, individuals with borderline personality disorder will be very manipulative in a relationship. They're the kind of people who will talk about committing suicide if you leave them. They talk about self-harm because you wanted to leave them. And therefore kind of forcing someone to be with them. When it comes to relationships or how people relate, persons relating to someone with borderline personality disorder may feel trapped in that they have to stay in this relationship because of how this person is manipulating them or manipulating the relationship, either to go their way or even for them to remain in this relationship even when it doesn't make sense to continue with the relationship. The other issue is because of their manipulative nature, they will always have this relationship going their way. And then sometimes that means that the other person in the relationship is not really fully satisfied in this relationship, but they have to keep on because they are being manipulated. What this finally means is that a person might feel cornered, that they cannot get out of the relationship, and yet they are not satisfied in the same relationship. And therefore, it calls for the person who is in this relationship first to see what is happening. Also for the person in the borderline personality disorder to realize that they cannot manipulate other people to always remain with them. So when in this kind of relationship, what can you do? The first thing is to realize that the individual with borderline personality disorder is actually manipulative. And therefore, if you need to leave, you need to be assertive about it. Be firm about it, while at the same time help this person to seek help. Suggest that they should seek help, and especially from a professional, so that they can be given the feedback that they need to be given. The other thing is to help them develop social skills, especially social skills that help them to deal with rejection, and also social skills that help them to deal with their fluctuating moods. Otherwise, the personality disorder in itself does not have any cure. It's only adjustments of their social skills and adjustments of the acceptance of rejection. Borderline personality disorder has its onset in early adulthood or in adolescence, and it's mostly associated with traumatic experiences such as rejection, being abused at an earlier age in life, especially in childhood. And therefore, for one to recognize whether they have this disorder or not, they need to look first at their patterns. They also need to look at the tendency of self-rejection, of not accepting themselves as they are, and having inferiority complex. Also, they need to check on their fluctuation of moods. Like, you know that you have a high temper, you wouldn't explain your high temper. You also know that when you get into a relationship, it is hard for you to let go, even when you know that it does not make any sense to continue with that relationship. Or even you go to greater extents in order to maintain a relationship. That simply means that you make extra steps, or you get very anxious when you imagine that you're going to be rejected. That apprehension is what we also take care of when you come into therapy.